Hey YouTube, Ken here from Think Trade Profit. In this video I share a morning session with you where I really struggle and I'm looking to improve on some of my weaknesses. That's my goal for this month. I do introduce a new concept, a new indicator that I'm trying to use to get me to buy strength. So I'm open to constructive criticism. Tell me where I could have done better. Throw some comments below about some of these trades, but watch me struggle a little bit with this market and let me know what you think. In this video, I want to share with you a new indicator, something I'm going to use today in my live trading. And the reason I adopted this is looking at last month's stats, I really need to work on me being more long and buying. I'm great in the short side, but a lot of these extended up moves, I'm just not participating. So I did some research and I adopted something, or I'm going to adopt something that is going to hopefully get me a little bit more active on the buy side. So with that, the indicator that I'm looking at is the high-low channel. So if you're using Fidelity, it's high-low channel, HCLC, and it looks something like this. So I have it on PayPal right now. So the reason I picked this has an interesting history. This kind of technique, using this kind of idea behind this indicator, was used by the turtle traders back in the 80s. And if you're not familiar with their story, I'll put a link in the description below. But there was a bet between some famous commodities traders, what we now call futures, Richard Dennis and William Eckhart. Can trading be taught? So again, this is the early 80s. They took their system that they used, and Richard Dennis ran a small stake up into like 200 million within less than 20 years. But they took a group of young traders and taught them their system, and it was basically a trend following system. And they did use what this indicator gives you, this kind of information. Basically, they would buy breakouts on either 20-day highs or 55-day highs, and they would try to hold them for a super long-term trend. So there's some complicated rules in there, and I'm not going to adopt all of those for my trading. You guys have seen how I scalp, and I'm pretty short term, but just keep in mind this indicator can be used on any time frame. You can use it, on a swing time frame, or even on the daily. You could try to adopt the turtle trend following system. And I'll give you a little more insight as the trading day starts, and I put on some trades about what their rules were. But the basics of it is, there is a period for it, just like other indicators, and this is set to 20, if you can see it up here. So it's HLC 20, so it's a 20 period channel. And what you see here at any point in time is the high and low of the last 20 periods of price. So if we look to the rightmost spot, as this channel kind of gets adjusted upwards, that means there is a new 20 period high. So essentially, price is breaking out when you're looking at a 20 period segment. And then over here, let's look in the middle. You can see kind of a breakdown. So at this point in time, I'll slide this over to the right and we'll hide the future. So at this point in time, on the farmost right, this line, this value is the 20 period low. So if this gets moved down, that means there is a new 20 period low and there might be a breakdown. And this is kind of the fundamental entry for the turtle trading system. They had a lot of other rules. They were really way ahead of their time compared to what we have now, because they didn't have the computing power, and some of the concepts they used to normalize volatility across portfolios and make sure there wasn't a lot of correlation was really pretty phenomenal. So that's what I'm going to put in play. I'm using it to wake me up on the long side, because I'm just hesitant. When I see these long extended moves, I'm not involved, and it's really a weakness that I'm trying to correct. So I want to kind of share this exploration with you today, and hopefully it's successful. But that's it. We've got a couple economic numbers that are coming out at 10 a.m. There's a 9:45 final manufacturing PMI, and then there's the ISM manufacturing PMI at 10 and some other smaller numbers. So I don't know how many trades I'm going to be taking before then. I usually don't start trading until 9:50. So we'll see how crazy and volatile the market is. When I last looked at futures, we were a little bit higher, but we'll take a look at it as we get closer to the market open. I will try to cut out some of the downtime in between trades like I did in my last video to keep the video at kind of a reasonable length. But that's it, the high-low channel, and we'll bounce back a little bit after the market opens and see how it goes. So the market's just opened. We've opened higher. You can see it up here in the SPY, almost a little less than 1% up. The Dow's higher. We don't have a value for the NASDAQ. There it is. So a little over 1% there too. So we're definitely gapped higher. For today, I'm going to be, my go-tos lately have been Peloton and PayPal. So PTON and PayPal I'll be watching. DKNG is another one. I really haven't had success in this stock, but there's some more news. They've got some more favorable news. One of the football teams is picking them up as a official something or other, and the stock's been really hot. QCOM is another one. QCOM and PayPal, I'm a little wary of putting trades on in the same direction at the same time for both of those, because they're both in the S&P 500 and they're both in the NASDAQ 100. So they generally move with the market. So I try not to have, I want to be aware of my risk. I won't necessarily have double shorts on with a short in each or something. It's essentially double the risk. So those are kind of the same trade. But PayPal, PTON, Penn, and Penn National too. There's some news out on that, a write-up for an analyst or whatever. That's been kind of hot. It's had its ups and downs, but the pre-market, you can see, is stronger, and it's opened up 2% as well. So that's what I'll be watching. But we'll come back a little bit after these news announcements, closer to 9:50, and see where we're at. So just to show you what this looks like in real time on the 1 minute chart, QCOM and PayPal are putting in new lows. So it's only 9:46. And the reason I bring that up is this high-low channel is a 20-period channel, so it is using data from pre-market. So I'm not going to trade these, and I usually don't trade, like I said, before 9:50, and we've got news at 10. And I think there's going to be orders pulled from the market. I think there's going to be less liquidity. There's a possibility for these stocks to go even higher on hopes of stimulus today and that kind of thing. So I'm not going to trade these, and I wouldn't normally. I usually don't put anything on until about 9:50. But you can see, so QCOM's making new lows. So by the rules of, say, a breakdown, this would be a new 20-period low. But it is using data from the pre-market, which I don't give as much credit to, because this has got a lot more volume. So you can see that in QCOM, and PayPal's doing the same. And like I said, those are both very correlated. They're both in the NASDAQ 100, both in the SPY. So maybe we're seeing the same thing over there, and I bet we are. So yeah, you see it here in the Qs. And SPY hasn't created a new low. It had a little bit bigger range of this channel. But that's the kind of thing we're looking for in real time. And again, I expect the 1 minute chart to be a little bit noisy for me. All right, so we're approaching these economic numbers that I mentioned before. And I'll show you the site that I use. I use forexfactory.com. I was kind of turned onto it when I traded currencies a long time ago, and it gives a really fast reporting of the numbers. And I'm not trying to trade these economic numbers. I'm not trying to predict or do something immediately after. I just want to see how fast the market reacts and how it reacts. I think that liquidity has been pulled from the market as we approach this number. My guess, and again, I'm not necessarily going to trade this, is as the orders were pulled, we saw QCOM and the Qs come off a little bit. PayPal too. That I think there'll be a little bit of a reversal. Like they're pushing these down to buy it as cheap as they can, get people to sell it to them, and then they'll push higher. And some of the other stocks will continue to go higher, like PTON has been strong. So anyways, with that, this is Forex Factory, and if we refresh this page, we can see these come out in real time. It's kind of cool. Better, this is a forecasted number, so better than the forecasted number. You can kind of get a description of everything in here, but I just want to see when they come out and what the market does. I'm not trying to trade it. I don't care about these secondary ones so much, and I just don't think there's going to be much of a surprise here. So whatever the market's doing now in preparation of these, I don't think it's meaningful. I think we had a pretty strong open and stocks have pulled back and the number's out. So 55.4, it's actually worse. But again, I don't think this is going to be meaningful to the market. So PTON, let's see how fast, see if we can see any kind of knee-jerk reaction in the market. I'll switch to, so PTON's been strong. Let's switch to QCOM and PayPal because they've kind of been trending lower. So at this point in time too, it's 10 a.m. It's been 30 minutes. All the data for the channels now is from today's market data. It's not from pre-market because it's been more than 30 minutes. So these channels are now generating what I consider within the day, potentially valid trading signals. So if if PayPal, decides to break down here, maybe I'll take it. I would expect QCOM to do the same. I like PayPal better. It's got a little bit of spread though, so it's sometimes hard to catch. 4-cent spread on QCOM, and QCOM's lower. So Qs are probably doing very much the same thing. So I'm going to offer some out because there's a big spread here at 45 and see if we can catch something. And I didn't think we were going to be able to, but let's see. We got filled. Let's see how this goes. Let's give it a few minutes. The ATR is about 48 cents. I won't give it that much. I'll give it 40 cents, but maybe not even. If it doesn't go our way in the first 33 minutes, I'm going to cover it. Yeah, this is what I expected. I didn't expect a follow through here. I expected us to go back to the upside. But let's give it a second. I think we got duped. I think the orders were pulled pre-number and they're going to turn up now. So I'm going to go ahead and cover this. And let's look around. So let's take a look at Penn. Penn was, so even Penn is taking up. This was very weak too. So they're all doing kind of the same kind of thing. DKNG, let's kind of analyze this. DKNG and Penn, look, the Penn is definitely the weakest. So if we were looking to fade something, this would be it. I'm not going to pick it right here, but this was definitely weak. Maybe I will offer some out. There's a nice spread there too. Let's try it. So we got some at 45, or I'm sorry, we got some at, let me flip this upside down, 76. Let's see how much pain we have to take. Penn can be a squirrely one. I'm surprised it went down this much, so I probably shouldn't be shorting it, right? So the market is kind of ticking up, but maybe there really is some weakness in this one because it's barely up on the day. Not really thrilled. It's been 2 minutes with the way this is acting, so I'm probably going to cover here quickly. It's just not going. It looks strong on the chart, right? So 2 cents on that. Let's take a look at something else. It's not my best stock. I would imagine PTON's probably still up. QCOM, I'm going to take a look at the SOX is way up too, so that's what scares me a little bit about shorting QCOM because that is part of that sector. And I'm super late on this. It looks like it's going to push to a new low here. Let's see if there's a bounce that I can get short. It's a shame because we were short this at 79 before, and now it's moved 40 cents, right? Let's see if we can get a bounce in PayPal. We'll put this in again. It's moved. It's moved almost 2 ATR from where we shorted. Well, not quite that far from where we shorted it. Let's let the market bounce and we'll short this PayPal. I like it as a short. The chart from the open looks good. I think we just tried a little bit early after that economic number. I'm going to try some, let's see if we can get up in the 50s, if these guys will move. Doesn't look like it. But Qs haven't even begun to bounce yet, so I'm watching those on the other screen. That looks a lot better. Let's take that 56 if we can get it. So we did get short at 56. That might be very good, or it might be very painful. Let's see. And QQQ is about the same spot when we started eyeballing this. So hopefully this isn't a big turn up for SPYs and futures. A little wary of being short down here and chasing this, but we saw how fast it fell apart. 2 ATR would be big for me, so we're short at 56. 80 cents would be about 76. Let's see if we can get there. Looks like there's some support here holding it, but I'm just gonna hang. I think we were really early. going to go ahead and cover, whoops, maybe not. Yesterday was pretty wicked. They bounced this stuff pretty hard. A lot of people on the bid, so unfortunately I'm going to cover. See the spread and the price, see how fast it bounced up. So we covered at 98. Not the greatest, but this thing bounces horribly. I mean, I have no problem getting back in it again, but I'm watching the Qs and the SPYs on the other screen, and I can show you that the SPYs are already starting to bounce. Probably a mistake, but just how spready this is, it's really difficult. We could get a little, I'm thinking it's only 10:20, so the orders are going to start coming into the market. This looks like a great price. This looks like an amazing price, and I'm too slow. Again, I put something out there at 70. I just got filled and Qs are ticking up. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how much pain we have to take here. The only danger here is they run, in an extended up move, they run the figure. What I mean is they go to 198.0 and run stops, right? So an ATR about 40 cents is what I'll take on this if it happens really quickly, because yeah, we didn't get the best price. Qs and SPY are ticking up, and I really like this price, but so we shorted 12.20. It's been 2 minutes. It's starting to drop in our favor. Need SPYs to drop lower. This is good. Again, I'm going to take an ATR. Like if I can get 40 cents really quick, so that would be at 30. Just because we just came off an up move in the I'm going to try the market order with that. That wasn't the best fill. I thought that was going to be between 35 and 40. It is trading above. You can see it on the tape. They bought up like 90s and stuff like that. And the market is ticking higher too. So it's the algorithms and stuff like that just doing the work and buying this up. So I'm going to try to short it above the figure. We are making a move up. So here's Qs and SPYs. We did that fill. Get like 07. That would just seem ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. Let's try for 4. Open. We must have got that as SPYs and Qs. So we got 4. Let's just pray the market doesn't keep pushing against us. Again, I'm kind of against the trend of the Qs and SPYs. They're going up as we speak. So an ATR would be good, about 35 cents. I'm going to go ahead and cover there. So 15-cent loss, not the end of the world. Very difficult though. But basically what we just sat through was this. So now PayPal getting to a price I would have killed for 5 minutes ago. It was a low of 76, so this thing's up almost to ATR. Do I fade it? Do I dare try again? It's so fast. Let's try it. And we got some. Let's see what happens. Immediately against us, and the market's ticking up as well. Yeah, this is tough. When the market goes up, it goes up. It's just, there isn't a lot of, I don't know, liquidity or volume or what. It just seems really risky right now. I'm going to try to get out of this as fast as possible. It's ticking down a little bit, but I don't trust anything at the moment. So we lost a penny. It's hard. That just ticked 20 cents against us, and that trade was a minute and 8 seconds. But yet we had to take like 20 cents of pain. So I think I'm on the wrong side. So we're ticking up again, so it's a good cover. So it's 11:06. One thing to keep in mind is the move into the London close. So we usually get a move into the London. A lot of times we get a move into the London close. So we either go in one direction, either down or up. It'll trend from 11 to 11:30, and then about 11:37 or so afterwards, it'll go in the opposite direction. So I've said this before, they try to give London the worst prices ever. So maybe that's what's starting to happen now. They're going to push everything up as high as possible. And right after 11:30, like 11:35, 11:37, everything will come back. It'll be hard for me because that means the market's going to grind up slowly for 30 minutes. So let's see if we can get some low risk long. And none of these seem that great. I mean, this chart doesn't look great, right? Let's see if DKNG sort of held up. It did. We could try to bid some of this or take the channel breakout, which would be a little bit above here. That would be interesting. Maybe we could catch something. Let's try. Let's bid some here. It looks like there's quite a bit of, I just tried to bid 52 and it moved instantly. We'll keep the bid in there. Let's see if we can buy some of this at 52-ish. Yeah, market's turning. I'm going to cancel this and pull it back a little bit lower. No one's coming off the bid on this. Notice. They're actually bidding it up. I want to try to get a good price here. Spies in the market coming off, coming off, coming off. I feel good about this from a long perspective. All right, so we got some at 52. Let's see if, yeah, and it went against us right away. Let's see what we can do. I don't think there's a lot of risk in this. It's a little bit smaller stock, but the market kind of jigged us. I'm hoping it's like a triple bottom thing and then we go up, right? So we've bottomed here a couple times. Bottom, 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 bottom. So I'm hoping that that was just a fake out. All right, we'll let that go. I think that's safe for now, hopefully. I'm out. I gave it, that was a 6-minute trade. So unfortunately it just didn't go our way. And now the market's turning up. So I'm just getting shaken out of everything. I had a short thesis. I was short. I was very short. I was very, very short. And I'm going to try to get that way again with this move. Hopefully I don't get crushed because things came off pretty hard. I just didn't get a very good price, right? I'm going to go ahead and get out of that because that was kind of a disaster from the get-go. Shorts really aren't working for me, even though I think my timing is good. So I'm going to buy this dip. Not necessarily in QCOM, but maybe even that moved violently against me. Here's PayPal. That one moved violently up. So I'm going to go on this thesis that there's going to be an up move here. So I'm going to try to get on the bid of a couple of these stocks. Like PayPal at 83. And I can't get filled and it's moving. Gonna leave that there for a second. Yeah, we're starting to go up. I got filled on some PayPal. I guess we'll go look at that. Now they're holding the offer. Alright, so now I got filled. Let's see how that works out. I'd like to see a bid at the figure and see it hold. That would be a reason to stay in it. So it's got to get above here, get someone to bid the figure and hold it. Just looks like there's a lot for sale on the offer. I'm out. Oh, nope, I didn't hit the button. Here we go. Here's a move in the futures. So we're going to get out up here, hopefully. And I'm going to take some profits. About 12 cents too early. So, yeah, I think we're going to see a trend till 11:30 again. So maybe I'll start looking for some shorts. This just isn't ripping. I was hoping for a lot more movement. It's now it's starting to lift a little bit, but not really. We sold it at 18. It's still sitting here. So there's some weakness. I wonder what we got shaken out of that DKNG earlier, and look at that. Come on. So we sold out at 60.22. That was the one to be long. So I had to sell out, right? I was long at 52, sold out at 22. It's at 85. And now this is starting to catch a bid. But I think this is among the weakest of them all for whatever reason. If I would have held it for 7 minutes, which is what's approaching, I would have made 12 cents more. If I'd sell it right here. It's just not that, it doesn't seem that strong right there. I might, since it's approaching the upper channel, I might offer out a little bit here. Let's try 100 shares. I'm bucking the trend a little bit. Let's try 32. See if we get filled. Just, nope, see, yeah. See if we can get a little fill, just a little quick scalp. There, we got filled. Let's see what happens. Market's still going higher. That's why we got filled. There, we made 4 cents, but not the greatest trade from a risk reward standpoint. And PayPal, it did go higher than where I sold it, right? There was an extra, well, we shorted it up there, and but now it's at 198.68. So I really needed to hold that a little bit longer, and I just didn't. I really need to work on my long side trades, right? That's what I said coming into this video. Let's try 100 here. I think this is a really good price, especially as the market starts to turn. Let's try to get something we can hold. Again, I'm bucking the trend, so I got 100 shares. Let's see how much pain we have to take. It immediately ticks up. It's so algorithmic crazy right now. You just see how much this changes. So I am bucking the trend. I know that. ATR would be great, 25 cents if we happen to catch the top, but let's just see how it acts in the first 3 minutes. It may not even come down. So somewhere around like 55. Let's take that. So we got 30 cents on 100 shares, 30 bucks. But that's, you know, why didn't I go big there? Because I haven't had a great morning. Really, everything's gone against me. I've had to fight with everything so much. So my confidence is pretty low. QCOM already came off a little bit. It was at like the 68 level. But you can see that's what I was hinting at. So this was hard to position yourself. Like if you're trying to do this early, which I normally do, right around 11, I start saying, hey, what's the trend going to be? But it really didn't get going until 11:12, and now London's closed. It's been closed for like 7 minutes. And what I think they've done is they've pushed prices high, and if London was short, which it doesn't make sense that they would be with the market so high, but what they've done is they've given London traders the worst prices on American equities if they happen to buy, or if they were short, they may have compelled them to cover. So I could be totally wrong. The market could trend up for the rest of the day, but at least I've seen this pattern a lot. It's right after the 11:30. There's a break. I just wish I could have traded a little bit better, but it'll be interesting to look at my trades today and see the win percentage, because I don't feel like it's been very good in the maximum adverse excursion. I've had to hold some losers. A couple of those went more than 40 cents, but we covered better. So normally my win percentage is around 66, 67%. That's what it was for last month. So it'll be interesting to see what these trades look like from that perspective, and the MAE, because I've struggled. But it was whippy. Even the down moves were really hard to catch, right? I don't know, but I think part of it is my stock selection. So I might call it here. I'm going to put these in Trader View. We'll take a look at my stats just to see, you know, obviously you guys can throw something in the comments. Where could I have done better? You know, where was I mispositioned? But yeah, I felt like I was definitely shorting at the wrong times. The up moves are much stronger, which makes sense. The market was essentially up, but it really faded since the open, right? We're not at lows, but we were at about 11.11, and we're slightly higher. You can see it on SPYs and Qs rather. No, I'm sorry. So this looks a little bit better. So here's SPY. We'll just look at today. So here's the open. Go all the way down, we rip up, go down, and we rip up for a London close. But one of the things to note, we did fill the gap, or what I thought was the gap. But I think I'm going to wrap for lunch at least. I'd like to edit this and throw this out to you guys. It'll introduce you to the high-low channel. You guys can probably trade it a lot better than I can, but I'm going to use it as a guide. I'm going to start to work on my buy setups, which I don't recall. I think the only ones I did today were DKNG, and I'm not sure what else. We'll take a look at it in the stats. But let me know what you think. Again, this wasn't designed to be used in a short time frame, this high-low channel. It was designed to be used on longer time frames. So it's definitely good for swing trading and that kind of thing. I will throw a link to some more information about turtle trading and the guys who came up with this, and Richard Dennis and William Eckhart, and what their system really was. So you guys can look into that too. It's really interesting. And again, they did that 40 years ago almost. They were way ahead of their time. But let me get these in Trader View and we'll come right back. Alright guys, so I'm back. I've imported the morning trades into Trader View, and I'm just going to do a quick recap with you. I didn't completely fill out my journal because there's still the second half of the day. I'll probably trade it after lunch. But let's see how I did so far. So far, the sizes I've traded is 200 shares and 100 shares. I did size down a little bit when I wasn't confident on some of those trades. I didn't exceed my daily risk so far. The worst drawdown I had was like $68 on the first trade, and after that we were profitable. I don't think I bought the low or the high of the day, but I wasn't really concerned. It wasn't like I was... I don't recall like me shorting PTON at the high of the day. That's what that's about. And this one, no losses greater than 40 cents. That's kind of my guideline for most stocks. I failed there, and I'll show you why. I have a record of that. I did lose $68 in the first trade. That was the worst drawdown. After that, we were up for the rest of the morning. There was, you can see it here. This is why I love this this graph. So you can see my P&L. And then I have another note about that because I'm really trying to work on this. Did I have any losses greater than 40 cents? And I did. I had 2. And you can see them down here. The maximum adverse excursion. They weren't closed at losses of 40 cents or more, but I let them go that far. So I did kind of cheat my mental stop loss there a little bit on these 2 trades. There's one here. This went against me 47 cents, but I closed it out better. And this one went against me 47 cents also, but I closed it out better. So I'm really trying to work on this. I don't think it's good long term for me to cheat this. But anyways, so real quick with the reports. The gain or loss, okay, so I'm up for the morning. I don't think I traded it great. I really don't think I traded. I think I was struggling. You can look at the average position, maximum adverse excursion down here is $44. And the average position favorable excursion, like winning trades, those are close. That's not too far apart. It's not bad. Maximum consecutive wins 4, maximum consecutive losses 3. Average holding time 3 minutes and 3 minutes. I didn't really have too many winners that really I felt like I could have held better, except for maybe the one as we approached the London close, right? That went higher, but it was tricky to trade. You guys saw it. Average winning trade, average losing trade's a little bit higher. It's fair. Largest loss was this, largest gain was this. But my win percentage is a little bit lower than normal. I mean, not significantly. I think it could have just done better. Maybe cut the DKNG faster, and maybe not short so much. But that's the Trader View recap. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys to throw some comments below. Don't be shy. How could I have traded this morning better? What did you see that seemed a little bit off, or what could I have done? I wanted to kind of create a different format and open myself up to some criticism. I'm okay with it. I don't think I traded it great. I do have a problem from the long side. I really didn't get to introduce much with the high-low channel and buying breakouts. You know, maybe it's just kind of a whippy day. Or maybe you see some glaring errors and some things I can work on, because that's really what this is all about. That's why I brought that high-low channel in, is to kind of work on some of my weaknesses and trade better for this coming month. So with that, thanks for sticking with me through the whole video. If you're new here, please subscribe, support the channel, hit the like button so this video will be shared with other people, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.